here's my arm broken. Let's go to the hospital. It's like, no, you know what you got yourself into.
Story-wise, it's interesting as hell. I don't even want to tell you plot points. All I want to tell you is that the twist on the characters and everything, they're not unfamiliar.
We have learned something new, Buzz. We have learned something new. You and I will resort to animal violence, and he will pick on worm-stricken children dying of starvation. Got it. K-pop Demon Hunters won multiple awards.
I didn't see the Oscars actually. Well, I mean, I saw some of the results, but I didn't see it. I didn't hear. I heard about K-pop Demon Hunters, not about multiple awards though. But okay, but yeah, I only really know about Michael B. Jordan. That's the only news I got. So that I ain't gonna lie, it's the only news I cared about. So, like, all right, yeah, Michael B. Jordan won for Sinners. Yeah. Big things. But yeah, I guess a lot happens there. All right. Well, here we are. We are back once again with another episode of the Uncivilized Arts Podcast. I'm your host, Boomer Hazan, but I go by Bandit Haze in the online space, and I'm joined today by my very best internet personalities, Sweet Buzz of Sweet Buzz Music, Lady Celeste Orchid, cosplay extraordinaire. And guys, for the listeners out there, I have to issue a quick apology for the lack of episode in the previous week. That was completely my mistake by accidentally deleting everything. But here's a quick thing for any software companies. If you do like video software or picture software or music, so any kind of editing software. And by the way, I recognize this is my fault. I'm not trying to blame the software companies or anything like that. But when you have like warning, like dialogue boxes for when somebody's about to do something that's going to result in a deletion or any kind of like major change to a file or anything like that, make the warning box different from other dialogue boxes, like change the color, you know what I mean? Or like change the button shapes or do like a combination. Make sure you get the person's attention that they're about to do something stupid. You know what I mean? That would help. So yeah. It was my fault, but if software companies can do that, that would be a great help. But anyway, we're going to talk about a bunch of different things today. Some of the stuff that we've been watching and playing and stuff like that over the past couple of weeks or so, and give you our thoughts and opinions on those things. Before we get into that, though, Mr. Sweet Bundy, how you been? How you been doing?
Been doing good, just hanging in there, getting through work as much as possible. Trying not to be late, but those mornings are tough as hell. I don't know what it is about mornings, but I'm just not a morning person at all. At all.
That's interesting. I feel like I'm at my... I don't know if I want to say I'm a morning person, because I feel like I get up, when I wake up, I'm groggy. But then 5-10 minutes later, I'm alert. And I feel like when I'm in that moment, that's like, for me, the best time to do anything, you know?
Nah, not me. It's like waking up from the dead for me. Like put me back in the casket. I'm ready every single time. It's like I could hear my bed saying, "Come back, come back. Just stay here with me." And I'm looking. I'm just staring. I'm just like, damn. You know what? If I had the PTO, but nah.
PTO.
See, I'm just thinking about tomorrow morning. I got work. And I'm already tired. Like,
what's a PTO?
Paid time off.
Oh, okay, right. Gotcha.
Do you not have that in the UK? Do you not have that?
Oh yeah, we do. We don't. I guess we don't call it PTO though. But I've not heard that acronym before. So it'd be like I guess you call it annual leave, or maybe paid holiday. I guess I think the more common term is probably holiday, but the correct term is really annual leave, because every year you get a set amount of days, like 20-something days or 30 days, depending on your job and how long you've been there, things like that. And you use up how many days, like you might use 1 day now, 5 days later, things like that. So yeah, annual leave, we call it, or holiday, as it's all called, but yeah. PTO. Yeah, paid time off. I mean, that works. How about yourself, Sense? Are you a morning person?
Oh God, no. I was never a morning person until I was forced to be. So I will still and always be a night owl. And like now that I'm a parent, no. If the kids are up, you better be up because they're going to do something. And next thing you know, you're going to hear a little one screaming like, it's like, oh my God, what happened? So nope, someone's got to be there making the pancakes. It's definitely me most of the days. It's not by choice. But the nice thing is, because I run my own business, I get to go back to bed after they go to daycare.
Nice.
That's not, I don't do it often, but I'm usually always just working after I drop them off.
Yeah, you gotta hustle. Gotta hustle. That's the kind of the way of the world. I feel like everybody should have more than one source of income. Like whether you got like a regular job, part-time, full-time, whether you're self-employed, whether you're doing, YouTube, whatever it is you do, everybody should have more than one. And I don't even mean it in like the hustle hard kind of hustle. I don't mean it in that kind of way. I just feel like it's a good idea to have more than one source of income for everybody. So there's my tip for the day. Have more than one source of income.
I have to comment on that because this came on my YouTube feed, minor comment. So YouTube algorithm fed me influencers who failed influencing. They used to make like thousands, like hundreds of thousands of dollars. And they're like, I can't afford my mortgage anymore because so-and-so program isn't paying me enough. I only made $350 for this month. And this has been happening for like the last 2 months. I was like, oh. And so, yeah, it's very important to have certain ways. And some of these influencers have grown accustomed to a very lavish lifestyle. So now they're really suffering and they're like, yeah, I had to stop influencing and now I am working a 9 to 5. I'm just like, but that's difficult in so many ways because, influencing, you take a lot of time just to come up with a video idea, edit, shoot it most of the time. But then when it comes to a 9 to 5, it's just like, get up, go to work, come home, and then you can do whatever you want. You could go back to influencing on your time, but it's just like, is that really going to pay off? You know what I mean? Like, it's just really interesting that you mentioned that. And that YouTube video literally came on my feed this morning. So I was like, wow, that's terrifying.
Yeah. I mean, either way, you're working a lot, whether you work a regular job or whether you work because I think a lot of people get into influencing thinking it's going to be easy, and it's not. For most part, it's not. Unless you get really, really lucky, it's not easy. You're going to be working a lot. With a job, you might work from 9 to 5, but with social media, or if you're trying to make a career out of social media, you're pretty much just working from when you wake up to when you go to bed. It's just nonstop because you're doing everything. Especially in the beginning, you're doing everything yourself. So yeah, it's not easy unless you happen to get extremely lucky, but that's not something you should bank on. Just expect to be working all the time, and even when you're sleeping, you're still working somehow. They'll figure out a way to monetize it. But anyway, let's. I have a question before we get into
sleep.
Oh, is that a thing? You can make money. Okay, sign me up for that. I'll make money. I'll make a lot of money if I can make money while sleeping.
Something like
I'll be a
not monetized, but they'll make you play a game. And then you have to spend money.
Oh, no.
So even though you're asleep, you're spending money. Anyway, sorry.
I don't want to spend money. I have a question for you guys, actually, before we get into the main part of the podcast. Celeste, I believe you already know what the question is, so I'm going to come to you last. Sweet Bundy, I have a question. So here's the thing. I saw this on Instagram. There was a video going around where, let me shout out the guy real quick, Dr_Applesauce on Instagram, who was asking people at I guess an anime convention. And the question was, if I gave you $1 million to fight any anime character, but you have to win, to get the money, who are you fighting and why?
Any anime character?
Yeah.
Hamtaro.
Okay, who's Hamtaro? I don't know Hamtaro. All right, let me look that up real quick. So, who's Hamtaro?
Hamtaro's a little hamster. You're gonna beat it by hamster. It's a little creature.
You know what? Your answer might be worse than mine, actually.
No superpowers, none of that shit. No comebacks. It's like a cutesy anime. Yeah, that's it.
It is
You
cute.
just
And the
pick a
theme
hamster.
song,
Like, all
how
right,
could
rub me
you?
my check. Rub me my check.
You're just gonna stomp on a little hamster and
For $1 million, oh yeah. They'll say, "Would you do it again for $1 million more?" Absolutely.
It's like,
All right, Celeste,
have a
for $1
good day with
million or 1,000,000 kroner, depending on which is worth more.
$1 million. Kroner is not the transaction.
Oh, definitely
like
dollars.
the rate.
Okay.
Yeah, $1 million.
All right,
Definitely.
All right, $1 million. You could pick any anime character to fight, but you have to win to get the money. Who are you picking and why?
Okay, so originally I was gonna. I told you a while ago that I would pick Yamcha from DBZ, but then I realized he's a guy and he's probably taller than me. So then I was going to choose Ash Ketchum because it's like, you're not allowed to use Pokemon, okay, little kid? And you're probably my height, because I'm like the age of, like the height of a 10-year-old. So, especially in Denmark, like everyone's freaking tall. So it's just like, oh, this is perfect. I'll fight for my own size and stuff like that. But now hearing Sweet Buzz's thing, I'll beat up Luna the cat from Sailor Moon. Like, yeah, let's go. I'll beat up. There you go.
Just keep it simple,
What are you
right?
gonna do? Transform, bitch? You're not going to.
Keep it simple. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, the other day, they said any anime character. That was a question. Any anime character. Not any anime character from such and such, or it has to have this, and that. No, any anime character. So, yeah, keep it simple. Keep it simple. But I would say that your guys' answers are kind of diabolical compared to mine. I thought my answer was diabolical, but I think your guys' answers are actually more diabolical than mine. So I picked I picked the kids from Grave of the Fireflies. Like, that's who I.
Oh my god! I can't believe the words that came out of your mouth. I cannot. I am appalled.
Keep it simple.
You are terrible. You are a bad person. At least the people that we're fighting, the things that we're fighting, they're healthy. You're going against these little war crimes like Hiroshima bombed children. Who are striving of like, you're a terrible person.
Yeah, like,
oh my god,
that daddy's Billy around.
Oh my god, hold on, where's my fan? I am so proud of. Oh my god, Bandit Haze, you need a timeout. Bad.
I'm just saying, let's keep it simple. That. Any anime character, and I just have to win. Why? I'm not going to pick somebody like Goku, or somebody like that, or I don't know, or that other big dude. I'm just keep it simple, because those kids, like, their dad works all the time, so that he's barely around, and then their mum's sick. Their mum was sick, so like they're all like, they're not even like they're kind of like, not even fully there because they're all worried about their mum and all that. So yeah, and their kids are like, I'll beat up the girl, I'll beat up the boy, I'll beat them. In fact, to make it fair, well, not even fair, but make it a little less bad. I'll take them both on at the same time and just be like, smack. Smack.
Do you know how tall you are? You don't even need to take them both at the same time. No.
Run me my check.
I thought we were bad.
Run
I
me
didn't
my check.
expect you to go lower than the fucking dirt on the floor. Jesus, this podcast.
Run me my check.
So far. My goodness, for $1 million, some people do certain things, and apparently we found what Bandit Haze will do. Okay, we have learned something new, guys. We have learned something new. You and I will resort to animal violence, and he will pick on worm-stricken children dying of starvation. Got it.
Hey.
Exposing our weaknesses here.
I
mean, I said I'd fight a healthy 10-year-old because that's like my height. It's like even. I'm very short. For the people out there who don't know this, Mr. Haze can confirm I'm quite the short human being. So maybe these war-stricken children from Grave of the Fireflies are around the same height as me. So it's still an even match. Like, here, you can.
I'm just saying, at least I picked humans. You guys picked animals, like the fences. Just
originally, I didn't until I heard Sweet Buzz's answer. Jesus. I was like, for $1 million.
All right. So let's get into the episode. Let's get to the episode and talk about some of the movies, games, shows, and things like that we've been taking part in recent times. Lady Celeste Orchid Tell us about Bridgerton. I've heard of the show, of course. I've never watched it myself, but it's a period show, like it's set in the olden times, right? Is that correct?
Yeah.
But I think they've got
Yeah.
different eras where I think there's like one for the olden eras and one for the not so olden era. I'm not, but there's a guy in it that everybody is good likes because he's good looking. That's about the extent of my knowledge of Bridgerton. But yeah, tell us about Bridgerton. Perhaps you could inform me, and I'll be a little less ignorant of the show.
Okay, so Bridgerton has 4 seasons right now and a spin-off season. It's based off of these books written in the early 2000s by Julia Quinn. Am I a reader of those books? Absolutely not. But these books I based on the Regency period of the lords, nobles, and the queen's higher court. And it focuses on the Bridgerton household, hence the name Bridgerton. The Mede Bridgerton gave birth to 8 kids? Did 8, 7 kids? It's like 7 or 8. I can't even remember. But A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Yeah, it was 8. So she gave birth to 8 kids, and Bridgerton follows the love story of each kid finding their love match of the season. And it has been quite the sauce, so to speak.
Okay.
First season really, really was so good. The last 2 seasons, they took some creative liberties that's really shook up a lot of the storyline, and it's just like, yeah, you kind of have to adapt it in certain ways. But it's like interesting how they did it. They've also introduced it to like people of color, so it's not just all white cast. The queen, she's actually of like African heritage. We have some other lords and nobles that are of African heritage. We have some people from India, and this latest season we have some Asians, like Korean style Asians. So it's pretty exciting. And they have changed up a little bit from the books, but it's literally just like a period love story, and you just slowly build off of that.
Okay, so is it kind of like what's that one, Mr. Darcy?
Oh yeah. Pride and Prejudice. Very.
Yeah. Is it like that?
Yes. It's very much that whole like, oh, I loved him, but he didn't choose me. And it's like, what are you talking about? I do choose you. Marry me, Rebecca. No one's name is Rebecca.
You ever watched so who's Rebecca?
Okay, so what I was referencing to was a small YouTube series called The Bravest Warriors on YouTube by Cartoon Hangover. There's this extra episode where little character is just like creating a little drama, and he's got a potato, and the potato is in love with the stick, and he's like, marry me, Rebecca. She's like, no. And he's like, what? But I love you. She's like, I love you too. I love you. And then it's just really funny. So he says, marry me, Rebecca. So I'm just referencing another show within a show.
Gotcha.
Inside a show. So super show inception.
All right, so Bundy, have you watched Bridgerton? Have you ever watched that show, and do you have any thoughts on it?
No, I haven't watched it. I didn't even hear about it until today, to be honest.
Never heard of
Wow.
it? I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that sounds kind of mad. You've never heard of it?
No.
I mean,
I've never watched it, but it seems like a. Or is that the selling point?
It is one of the selling points that they got. They're like, okay, this season we're gonna focus on this sex scene from the book. First season they threw a lot of sex in it, and I didn't really like it. And I was like, man, is this all this that there is now? Like, there's no flavor. It's just gratuitous sex of these two actors. Granted,
it's set before they had television, so it's set before TikTok and internet when people like didn't have anything else to do. So I guess we're bored now. All right, yeah, fine.
That reminds me of Empire that used to air on Fox. They got to a point where almost every time you turn around was a sex scene in every episode. It was awkward because I was trying to watch it with like family, and you just gotta sit there. It's not even like, it's on Fox. So Fox is like this public channel and everything, so they can't really do anything too raunchy, but it's just awkward. and they're just grinding against each other. A lot of kissing, a lot of smacking, and all that. And it's like, all right, let's go,
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
go. And then it's the Jesse Smollett, so you already know what his deal is. So it's
Yeah.
like, all
Yeah.
right, okay, cool. All right, I get it. It's Pride Month. All right, let's go. Come on, please.
So she can pretend to sleep. You're watching the TV with your family, and MCs come on, and you kind of like just start pretending to sleep. There's only so much you could do that. You're like, all right, we pretend to sleep. I've got to pretend to sleep again. All right, and again. All right. Sweet Bundy, tell us about Batman audio adventures.
So I have Spotify and everything, and they give us like a lot of audiobooks, a lot of access to audio shit in general. And I finally came across it. I saw it promoted multiple times, and I was like, I'm not listening to this. And then one day I just decided to, especially during the blizzard that we had. I got tired of just listening to the music while shoveling, and I decided to give it a try. And my God, I love it. I'm already like halfway through season 2. It's played like I don't know what specific era, but when they back before TVs, when they used to have shows done strictly through audio on the radio, and it's done in that style. And of course, like the whole story setting is that pseudo weird, like just like the animated series of Batman, where it's kind of like old days, but it's not really. It's from that era, and it has like a whole bunch of actors that you wouldn't even believe that are in the cast. They got Jeffrey Wright as Batman. So that's one of the first. I think if he's not the first, then he's one of the first black Batman. So that's dope. They got Kenan Thompson as Commissioner Gordon. They have Tim Meadows, Rosie Dawson, John Leguizamo as the Riddler. He's listen, I get it. Sometimes he could be really annoying, but as the Riddler, he is fucking hilarious. Dude is hilarious as hell. They have who else? I already said Rosie Dawson. Oh, Brooke Shields as Vicky Vale. Freaking I haven't heard of this guy, but whoever they got as Joker, Brent Spiner, he's excellent. He's one of the best Jokers I've heard. And they got these little jingles. Anyway, story wise, it's interesting as hell. I don't even want to tell you plot points. All I want to tell you is that the twist on the characters and everything, they're not unfamiliar. It's not like a whole new version of Joker, a whole new version of the Penguin, Two-Face, Scarecrow, or whatever. There's changes. There's, it's a different version, but it's familiar enough to where you know what to expect. It's very fun. If you're at work or something, you're looking for a little quick audio book to listen to. It goes by episodes. Definitely worth to listen to. I freaking love. I love this shit. I really do.
Okay, that sounds really cool. I'm not sure I've listened to any audio adventure style stories ever, at least not in any great detail. But I know I've done some audio books in the past, but not quite the same thing. I know. But yeah, no, that sounds really cool. Does that sound like something you'd be interested in, Lady Celeste?
Oh yeah, definitely while I'm crafting, because it's not like I can watch a TV and be like, oh, he punched the guy. It's like, when, where? So audio sounds really nice.
Yeah.
Especially with like Kenan Thompson as like a more serious Commissioner Gordon role. I can't really imagine him being like that, especially because he's like in SNL. So like he does a little bit more comedy than, like I can't see him. Maybe verbally he can do it, but like, I don't know. I'll be surprised. So I'll have to check it out.
There's still a little, there's still a layer of comedy on the entire story. It's very similar to Batman the animated series back from the 90s and early 2000s. So it's very reminiscent of that style.
In the 90s, Batman animated series had some of the villains.
Yes. Like
My
even the
favorite
crossover, I miss that shit. Like I feel like I could be corrected if I'm wrong, but I feel like that's what they're lacking now for the kids and everything. The crossover shit. Like for example, like there were times where they had the X-Men animated series, Spider-Man animated series, and whoever else. I can't remember off the top of my head. And then there'll be special episodes where all of a sudden Spider-Man is the same voice actor, same animation style and everything, same music. All of a sudden he's in one of their episodes and vice versa. It was fire as hell to see that happen. Same with Batman and Superman.
Yeah, for real. Because like, they're within the same universe. Why can't they? So
Yes.
Yeah, Jeffrey Wright, by the way, was also in The Batman as Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah.
That was 2020 something. I can't remember the year, but yeah, that was a great movie. I really like that movie.
He was also in that awful movie that Spike Lee released recently with Denzel Washington.
I didn't know he did a movie recently.
Yeah, it's terrible. I forgot what it's called, but it's something. It is awful. Boy, that was like one. I can't believe Spike Lee did that. It's like I feel like he's going to see now to make a film like that, or he just needed the money real quick.
I'm trying to look up the. I might take a while. Okay, never mind. It might take a while to find that.
It's not worth it.
Okay,
Literally not worth it. The only good part of that entire movie was this moment where it's like a surreal moment where it's like it's like a music video, but it's not. And they show a bunch of ass. So if you're into big asses, then yeah, you'll like that scene. But you could just look that up on YouTube.
But I cannot lie. You other brothers can't deny what a girl walks in, what an itty bitty ways in the round in your face. You get sprung. That song is poetry, by the way. That might have to be a whole podcast episode in itself, just me discussing how much poetry is in that song. But till then.
Just vibing. That's fine. Just vibing.
So I want to talk about the Acolytes. And apologies to Lady Celeste, because you're just going to hear me repeat myself pretty much.
Okay.
We'll talk about the Acolytes. So Acolyte came out 2024, 25. It's recently. And when it did, it got tons of backlash for all kinds of reasons. And at the time, I didn't watch it for myself because I was a bit done with Star Wars at the time. Like there was Star Wars everything coming out left, right, and center, and I just felt a bit, I'm good. I'm good with Star Wars for a while. Plus, you're hearing about all this stuff about it, and then a little while later, I'm hearing the show got canceled after one season. So part of me is thinking, maybe the show's not even that good anyway. So I'm not in any particular rush to check it out. But in recent weeks, decided, you know what, let me try and catch up on some shows that I haven't seen for a good while or just been on my back burner. You have something you watch later list that you end up never watching, that kind of thing. So yeah, I put on the Acolytes, and it was excellent. It was really, really excellent from beginning to end. It was superb. So I was saying before to Celeste that there's maybe a few things I can fault it on, like maybe some of the acting felt a bit off at times, or not certainly not all the acting and certainly not all the time, but maybe a few bits here and there. Some of the times the sets looked a little bit on the cheaper side, things like that, but a lot of that is minor in comparison to what they pulled off. They crafted a really in-depth, excellent story in the Star Wars universe. And I like that it's set outside of, the whole kind of Luke Skywalker and that whole thing, because, that's, of course, Star Wars. That's an important part of Star Wars. But I thought it was good to do something that's, by and large, separate from that story, because it gives them the freedom to kind of do their own thing without worrying about where it fits and, does it match up with that and who said that, you know what I mean? They just able to kind of do their own thing. And I think it works. I think what they pulled off was really excellent. The action sequences, the dramatic events, and just the whole kind of story of it, you know, without going too much into spoilers, but you know, you talk about these twins that came into existence. Let me just leave it like that. They're raised by this group of witches. The Jedi's come along and they kind of think something's a bit off, but then the Jedi's themselves, you know what I mean? So like there's kind of a lot going on in moral ambiguity, you know, and I think they walks the line very well. They pull the story very well, and it is such a shame that the show got cancelled. You know, it really is such a massive shame that this show got cancelled. Out of all the crap that they put on, you know, all the nonsense that gets like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 100 seasons, this gets cancelled, and it's a damn shame that it just didn't get the viewership that it needed. And I got a bit that I'm part of the problem. I didn't watch it when it came out, so perhaps if I did, I could have been that one extra person that needed to green light a second season. You know what I mean? But it's a real shame that show did not get a second season, because it ended in a way where it's a complete story, but there's so much more to tell. You know what I mean? Like in and of itself, they told a complete story, but there's still so much more to tell. And it's like, oh man, this needed like at 3 or 4, maybe 5 seasons to like really kind of, oh man, it was a great show. Excellent, superb. But yeah, just a shame it got cancelled. So yeah, if for anybody who avoided the Acolyte, whether you had Star Wars fatigue, whether you heard all the backlash it got, whether you heard this, you heard that, whatever, put all that to the side, ignore all that, kill all that noise, watch the show. It is superb. It is a really, really excellent show. Yeah, a couple of things you can fault it on, you know, a few things here and there, but it's minor. It's minor. So yeah, big up the Acolyte. Great show. Great show. I think Celeste, you said you hadn't watched the Acolyte. Have you watched the Acolyte, Sweet Bundy?
No, I haven't. The last time I watched anything Star Wars that I can remember off the top of my head, and I don't know which came last, but I definitely watched the Obi-Wan stories and whatever. Yeah, I think that was the latest thing Star Wars that I watched. Because before that was it was like one of the finale of the I don't know if it's the Clone Wars, or I think it wasn't the Clone Wars. It was whatever story they had that was on Disney XD, and then they had to put it on a different channel or something. They had this awesome ass scene where it was Darth Maul after all these fucking years, dude, still alive somehow, and he finally runs into well, first off, he was already established to be alive in the Clone Wars and was done really, yeah. So, but I'm talking about even after Clone Wars, like he's like an old ass man now, and he runs into Obi-Wan, Ben Kenobi, in the desert one day, and he's like exhausted, and he's like, you know, he's talking his shit. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna fuck you up. I'm gonna put this lightsaber down your throat. I'm ready. And Obi-Wan just got up, or Ben Kenobi just got up, and they did one little samurai clash. He was already split, done, and he just caught him before he fell and showed him like that respect, you know. And I love that. It was literally, the fight just lasted like a couple of seconds, but it was so well done. And that's the last thing I watched. So it was that and the Obi-Wan series, which, listen, I fucking love Hayden Christian as Anakin. So
okay, yeah. I like sand. No, I don't like sand. It's coarse.
But yeah, no, he's amazing, bro. Mandalorian. I watched Mandalorian, but I don't know if they came out with the latest season yet. I know they're doing some shit with Mandalorian and Grogu or whatever. It's like,
there's a movie coming out.
A little too long.
I think there's a season 3 out or coming out. I've not paid attention to Mandalorian, to be honest. After season 2, I kind of fell off. And I like
Yeah,
I like Mandalorian, but yeah, I did fall off after season 2. It was like all the drama going on, and then it took ages. And but I can say by the time all these things were coming out, I'm like, yeah, I'm good.
It was just a little too much
expecting.
Star Wars for me. Besides, I caught into Star Wars. Like it was Revenge of the Sith that got me hooked. And yeah, I don't care what people say about the prequels. Like I fucking love Revenge of the Sith. Still my favorite Star Wars movie. That shit is dope. It's fire. You can't beat Anakin as far as like drama goes and intensity and everything and all that. I don't care. He's fire. Like I love that character. The fact that I know he went downhill fast, but I get it. I get it. And I love that. Like they can't replace him. They can't. I don't care if like 15 or 20 years, 25 years from now, they decide to do a new Anakin and try to bring in a different actor. Fuck you, Hayden Christian.
Revenge of the Sith. That's don't do it, Anakin. I've got a high ground.
Yeah.
Just make sure I got the right ones.
He's fire, bro. Fire. Even with that scene, I don't care what people say. I love that movie. I love that movie.
You know what? I will say this about the prequels. When I watched them originally way back in the day, I didn't enjoy them very much. I've since grown to like them over the years. And I think a big part of that is just the acceptance that Star Wars isn't made for me. You know what I mean? Like, you know, Star Wars, the original trilogy, like 4, 5, and 6, like that was me prime. You know what I mean? And then 20-something years later, when they do the prequels, you're going in as a fan. Oh yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Da, da, da. But then the reality is that they're not making it for, you know, the 20-year-olds or the 30-year-olds. They're making it for the younger people because that's Star Wars. Star Wars has kind of always done that. You know, Star Wars now is kind of branched out into different genres and different demographics, and they make shows that appeal to different groups now. But the main movies have always kind of done that thing about going for the sort of younger audiences. So of course, if you're in your 20s, 30s, whatever, you're watching this, it's not really going to appeal to you. And I think for me, accepting the fact that these films are not really being made for me, regardless of the fact that I was a Star Wars fan from back in the day, that I feel like that acceptance made me was a big part of me liking these movies more, because you could just kind of watch them for what they are and not for what you think they should be. You know what I mean? And just kind of accept what they are and be like, you know what? It's actually kind of pretty cool. You know, it was actually kind of pretty cool. And it's certainly much better than the Disney abominations. Yeah, that's a whole other. Oof. Now, the Disney movies aren't too bad. Yeah. They're not that bad. They're just inconsistent.
They need a retcon what they've already retconned.
Right. They're just like, you got like 8 different people telling 8 different stories, and it's like, yeah. Anyway. So Celeste, Lady Celeste.
Yes.
Zootopia 2. What's happening with Zootopia 2? What would you like to tell us about Zootopia 2?
So we're continuing off from Judy Hopps and Nick the Fox, Nick's Wild. And it's kind of interesting because the end of the movie, they kind of get the end of the first movie, like, yeah, they're together as a cop pair. So think of like New York cop pair going like hog wild, and they got to solve this big thing. But then, you know, big thing solved. Now they're on to the next case. But there is no next case. And then they stumble upon like the next case on accident by finishing a different case that they were not assigned. So they're in trouble. Thus being said, for a kid's movie, they were pretty good about pacing. I was really shocked. I was not bored. Like, I was really, really impressed with how quickly they moved through the story, how they pieced together the plot points versus like, oh wait, and then we got to do this kind of thing or this kind of thing. And then it showed a lot of interpersonal relationship growth between the two characters. So it was actually really interesting how you can almost relate to those certain things if you were in those shoes of like, oh, yeah, I have problems opening up to my partner. And it's like, why is that? It's like, well, I don't think I need to be here. and then eventually later they solve it. So I think it's a really good movie. Did it beat K-pop Demon Hunters in the Oscars this year? No, but it's still a good movie. So it's still a very good movie.
Is Zootopia the same as Zootropolis?
Yes.
Or they
So
are?
in
Okay.
Europe, it's Zootropolis, but in America, USA, it's Zootopia.
Okay.
I have no clue why they switched it. At least like with Moana, the Polynesian princess, her name is Moana. But outside of like the USA, she's known as Vaiana. And that's because there's a porn star named Moana. And if you type up Moana, that porn star will come up. So they had to change it for safety reasons.
Okay. So porn stars are Disney princess. Okay. Well, I'm
so
not one to judge.
Zootropolis equals Zootopia. Moana, Vaiana. There you go. You learned a few new things today. I would say if you want something lighthearted but has like some cute, quirky moments, watch it. It does have a little bit of suspense here and there, but it's fun.
Mm-hmm. Have you watched the Zootopia in America, right? Bundy, or is it Zootropolis? Would you say it was Zootropolis in America or Zootropolis in the UK and in Europe?
What? Zootopia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
yeah.
what's it called again? Zootopia. Okay. Yeah. Have you watched Zootopia 1 or 2?
I watched the first one. The first one was cool. I didn't even know that the sequel came out yet. But yeah, the first one was cool. See, a lot of movies like that, you got to be wary of them, I should say, because some of them are cash grabs. But Zootopia, I didn't feel that way at all. It had clever ass jokes, good voice acting. I like the symbolism with it because it was like, some prejudice with the rabbits and everything and how she was discriminated against. Same with the fox, but it was clever writing, clever jokes and all that shit. And it's funny because, like, not to get too off topic, but a movie like Sing, I remember watching Sing, and Sing is a cash grab. I don't care what anyone says, it's a cash grab. But
easily.
I liked it. Only because, like, my opinion is biased because I like music and I love some of the songs that they were singing. They didn't choose just any song. Like, they had some shit in there that, I'm going to sound old here, but these youngins don't know about. Like, I'm Still Standing by Elton John. They had that shit. He sang his ass off. That fucking gorilla got on that stage and he sang his ass off.
That song alone, I'm Still Standing. I love that. If I never heard Sing, I would never know about that song. Like, I knew about the other Frank Sinatra songs by the Little Mouse. I love the Sing series, by the way. Like, I threw it on just for fun. And because I knew Justin Timberlake, I believe, was in that one. No, he's in Trolls. And the other one.
Oh, yeah. No,
but I was like, okay, I'm just going to give Sting a chance. Why not? It's a cute little kid's film. No! That's actually a good film. And it's like you learn about all these different singers and like you learn about the songs, but they're covered. But either way, Still Standing, that scene is one of my favorites. So yay, Johnny.
It was
Johnny,
good.
That's my boy Johnny.
He sang his ass off. Yeah, boy. That man had to break out of prison to hear that shit live. He was like, hell no. He said, turn that shit up. Back.
There's a second one, and Sing 2 is just as good in my opinion. So
I haven't watched it yet. I gotta watch it.
I love my kids' animated movies. There's certain reasons why I can't watch more adult things, but we'll get there.
Eventually.
But yeah,
we talked about it in our deleted podcast. So I believe it's on Bandit's turn. I'll reveal. So stay tuned. Don't click off. We're not clickbaiting. I'll discuss it in a bit. But yeah, Zootopia 2 came out. It was kind of like an underground kind of thing. Like, they didn't really, I didn't see many advertisements for it at all. So I only found out about it just doing some little digging. Like, what are they doing now? So yeah.
Yeah, you know what I saw about it actually? When I turn on Disney Plus, like, it has like the Disney logo that comes on. I noticed that it had that, and then it had I assume one of the characters from Zootopia. It was like a fox looking thing. and that came up, and I was like, "Oh, that's interesting. They've done that." But yeah, that's kind of I was like, that was it. That's about what I know. But I'm looking at the cast now. There's definitely for the first one anyway. But there's definitely a stellar cast. I mean, they've got Idris Elba, Jason Bateman. They've got Octavia Spencer, Shakira, Alan Tudyk. You know, so yeah, there's quite a few big names in this first movie at least. So yeah, I might have to make time for Zootopia.
Yeah, Shakira makes the theme song for Zootopia for the first one and the second one. So it ties in. She's a gazelle. She's really cool. Her role in the second movie is a little bit more fun. So I liked it. I liked it a lot. I think it really expanded the world, and I really hope they keep making more Zootopia movies, because it's so interesting, and how they expanded it. And there's more to it, because this is just one city, you know? Like, what if there's another city that wants to like combine with that city and be like, hi, we're a floating city, let's converge. Like, you know, I'm just saying, I would like more of this. Thank you.
More Zootopia.
Yes.
Sweet
Less
Bundy.
Toy Story, more Zootopia. Thank you. Bye.
From Zootopia to WrestleMania. Okay, that was a crappy segue. But anyway, WWE. Wagwan with WWE, Mr. Sweet Bundy.
Well, recently I had decided to take a break from WWE specifically, only because I don't like the direction that they're going in. I feel like they're scrambling. They're coming up with ideas, just throwing them at the wall and hoping that something sticks. So I don't really got too much to say about them anymore. Not right now. So what I did instead was I watched this big pay-per-view. I forgot what the name of the pay-per-view was. I'm not gonna lie. But I watched it with a couple of people in the Discord. AEW, which is like the strongest competitor for WWE right now. AEW, they are what I would say, and you know, again, I don't watch it on the regular, so I'm not going to do it justice. I would consider them more risk takers because of their competition of WWE and everything. They do take bigger risk. They're a little more raunchy. They're reminiscent of the Attitude Era of wrestling and also indies. They're heavily influenced by the Japanese style of wrestling, where they have certain spots that like, oh, I'm gonna hit you, and then I'm gonna let you hit me harder. I'm gonna hit you harder, and we're gonna just see who could take the hardest hit. So they have a lot of spots like that. So people who are into the Japanese style of wrestling, like New Japan, they love those spots. Me, it's not for me. But the cool thing about AEW is that they have some great fucking wrestlers. Like, they have some people that will do some shit in the ring, and you're like, how the hell is this person moving like that? Very stylistic. However, again, on the negative side for me personally, it's a little raunchy with all the blood and shit. Like, my thing is, I get it if it's for certain matches, but almost every damn match, somebody's bleeding, somebody's getting cut open, somebody doing something extreme. For the last match that they had that night, it made sense because it's literally called Texas Death Match. So you're expecting, okay, well, I saw all this blood tonight. This is called a Texas Death Match. I know some crazy shit is about to happen. And yeah, it certainly was insane. They had this guy named MJF who was amazing. He's charismatic as hell. He's a heel. That basically means the bad guy of wrestling. Yeah, he's just a complete asshole. Even his opening montage was of him pissing on a metaphorical grave or a fake grave of his opponent. And it was funny as hell because, like, oh, you know, obviously he's using like a water bottle or some shit, but he keeps like, he's pissing and then it stops. And then he starts pissing again and then it stops. And he starts pissing again. It reminded me of like these old ass comedians. Like, I forgot his name. May he rest in peace. But the guy who did Mr. Magoo. Man, So I love that style of comedy, like Airplane, for example. That movie he starred
Oh yeah,
into.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That I know.
Yeah. So going to the match is MJF versus Hangman Page. And they're going crazy. They had this spot where they dropped, like, he emptied out a bag of fucking broken glass and he's getting ready to slam him into it. MJF said, "No, I don't do that indie bullshit. I'm not doing that stupid spot." And of course, he gets slammed into it anyway. And not only does he get slammed into it, he gets dragged around on the mat in a circle, and you see the glasses sticking in his back, so you know it's not fake.
No, stop. Jesus Christ. Why?
It gets so much worse than that. So much worse than that. And me personally, I don't like all that crazy shit, even though I come from an era where I watch, when I was growing up and I was watching at least WWE, I wasn't watching wrestling besides WWE. I didn't even watch WCW. Having a match that was grotesque or extreme, it was like every once in a while, like when Mankind would show up, and Mankind got thrown off the fucking the top cage, the Hell in a Cell, and it was Undertaker. It made sense because it was like, whoa, this is a once in a blue moon type of match. You don't have this happen almost every damn pay-per-view or anything like that. Yeah. So seeing something like that was cool, but in the indies, this is something normal where they go the extra mile, where they go and do crazy shit to their bodies and everything. And I just never liked all that. And I'm not one of those people that like it scares me or something like that. No, I feel like when it happens once in a while, it makes it mean more. Yeah. So if you see blood almost every match, it becomes less effective. I feel like when you finally see blood, it's like, oh shit, it turns it up a notch. And that's what needs to make it earned. Back in the day, Attitude Era and everything, and ruthless aggression. Well, not really ruthless aggression, but Attitude Era for WWE, blood was more common. But when they started pulling back on the blood because WWE was trying to go more PG, and then they started to kind of revert where blood was starting to be reintroduced, that made it, worthy. It was like, yeah, we haven't seen that shit in a while, and it turns up things and turns it up a notch. But almost every damn match.
A lot to consider, like in terms of like wrestler safety and things like that. Things that it's cool to do. I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been the Undertaker or certainly one of the old school wrestlers was saying stuff like this about how the younger guys, they do all these crazy stunts and it's all cool and everything, but at the same time you're doing it every night, it takes a toll on your body. So like there's certain things that it's best you just leave for the once in a while and not necessarily the every day, because it looks cool now and it can get you a big pop on the crowd and all that kind of stuff, but the toll it takes on your body over a period of time, you're doing it day in, day out, these bumps, you see some of these guys, they get to their mid-30s, they can barely walk, you know what I mean? Or how many wrestlers have died before 60, that's, to be fair, that's more to do with the drugs these guys are taking. But it's still a thing though, where it's such a massive toll on your body where you're just kind of taking these bumps day in, day out, cuts day in, day out. If you're juicing day in, day out, it's going to have a negative effects on you over a period of time. So it's cool to see it from a fan perspective, but at the same time, it's like, slow it down. You don't need to do this every day. Think about your future, think about your safety, think about your own personal well-being, because one day you're not going to be wrestling anymore. And you're going to want to have some kind of life outside of being in a wheelchair. You know what I mean? So, there is that aspect to it.
Yeah. I mean, I look at wrestlers like Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle used to do these insane spots where he's jumping off the fucking top of the cage and just dropping hard on the mat, not even landing on anyone to soften his blow, just dropping himself. And, now he says that he regrets a lot of that work, even though that's like a lot of shit that made him. Don't get me wrong, Kurt Angle would have been legendary even without those spots, but that really cemented him like nobody could deny his greatness because of all those extreme shit that he was capable of doing. However, it took a toll on him to the point where now he starts to have memory loss, even though he's not, really up there in age. He has memory loss, certain things with his body. He can't, I think he has nerve damage and everything. So he can't, he lost feeling in his hands or partial feeling, stuff like that. So yeah, it sucks. It sucks. These wrestlers in AEW, I can't speak for all of them, but a lot of them. There's this one guy named Darby Allen. He's known for really doing these insane spots where he's putting his body through torture, fucking the steel stairs. He'll have somebody flip him on top of the steel stairs, so all those edges of the steps ram into his fucking spine.
Yeah,
just crazy shit.
Celeste, do you watch wrestling, by the way?
I used
or have you watched wrestling?
I used to. One of the things that kind of made me stop was when Mankind got his face beat up so bad with a wrench that he had a full face cast for a bit. And then I think it was 5 years ago, there was I don't know why it got on my feed, but there was the eyeball match, pay-per-view, Undertaker versus Rey Mysterio, an eye for an eye. And they had to take out someone's eye. So I was oh, grotesque wrestling. Oh God. I like horror movies. I like gore movies. But when it comes to real people kind of thing, and it's not acting, which in a sense it is kind of acting, and with some of them, I'm just this is ridiculous. Why? Why do you have to do that? And I've seen some backyard wrestling where people use cheese graters on their foreheads. So I'm just out of all the fucking things you can do, a cheese grater, and they literally grate off some skin. So I was oh, yeah, I can. I know. I've seen it. I don't want my kids to do it. If they do it, I swear to God, I will beat the shit out of them. So you want fucking wrestling, bitch? I will own your ass in a new way. Your mom is.
It's $1 million.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, I don't want my kids doing that, and it's just because some of those things are ridiculously stupid. I don't want them coming home being oh yeah, mom, I was wrestling. Here's my arm broken. Let's go to the hospital. It's no, fucking dumbass. You know what you got yourself into. But do I want my kids to be doing that? No. So it's yeah, I know about wrestling, and I think one of my favorite scenes was when Undertaker grabbed someone by the neck and slammed him into the mat, and it created a hole into the mat.
Yeah.
Do you remember what I'm talking about? I think it was Triple H. It was either Triple H or someone else, but I remember distinctly.
Yeah,
doing that.
Right.
Also, I wanted to make a comment. All these people doing hardcore things, and then I remember Stone Cold Steve Austin. And I'm but he didn't really do anything crazy. So all these people doing all this crazy extra shit. It's but you don't have to if you're just naturally a badass. The Rock. The Rock didn't have to do that. Stone Cold Steve Austin didn't have to do that. So it's just there's a point when you don't have to be all these other people. Goldberg, yeah, you probably had to work a little bit harder. So yeah, when I hear you talking about these other people doing all this crazy glass and just ring around the rosy shit, I'm just Jesus Christ. Are we gonna anime horror film or something? Because there was a match within the last 6 years that someone rolled out a bag of dice and then he threw the guy on the dice. I could tolerate that. But glass and stuck inside the skin, that's a new level of why is this entertainment? And this is not healthy for anyone to see this kind of thing. It's the shock value, okay. But we're no better than some of the people in Altered Carbon when they're okay, this is a wife and husband, and they had to beat themselves senseless, and whoever wins gets the prize money so they can buy new bodies. And it's oh my God, we're basically there. You guys watched Altered Carbon, by the way?
I
know what I'm talking about.
That's I might have to add that to my list of shows to get through eventually, but I've not watched it. All right, sweet Bundy, what's your final message for the young wrestlers coming up in terms of stunts they do and all that sort of stuff. Like, what do you think the biggest takeaway that they should have as a wrestling fan to the young kids coming up?
Well, I mean, that's the thing though. With a lot of wrestlers in AEW, they're not necessarily the youngest wrestlers. You know, the issue is that a lot of them are very talented. They can wrestle their asses off. For whatever reason, they feel obligated to do this extreme shit when they don't. It's like what Celeste is saying. You could just go ahead and do, like, Stone Cold Steve Austin used to be a very technical wrestler, right? And it wasn't until Owen Hart accidentally broke his neck where he couldn't do that style of wrestling anymore. So he had to go to a brawler style, which is what he's mostly known for now, where he just punches, kicks and stomps on you and everything, and all that shit was badass. He didn't have to go ahead and take out the barbed wire and wrap it around his hand and then start smashing you in the head. He didn't have to do all that crazy shit. Stone Cold literally could just show up, stun you, start drinking beer, and then flip you off, get you up again, and then stun you again. Like, fucking badass. And just get out of there. You know, and that's exciting. And that's all you need is the charisma and the skill. There's this guy from the same fucking show, Will Ospreay. This dude, he just came back that pay-per-view, and he just came back from an injury. He had neck surgery, and he's fully recovered now. He lost some weight too. He used to be more muscular, but now he's like more lean. And he was bouncing around that ring like a fucking jumping bean. I'm talking about that guy was moving so fast. It was incredible. And yeah, if you just show your skills and everything, you don't have to do all that extreme shit. You don't have to put your new body torture and all that shit to put on one hell of a show. People will still walk away with memorable moments. You don't need to say, oh, well, I stuck a needle through your cheek and everything and all that shit, which is literally what they did, by the way. And then proceeded to hit him over the head with a chair.
A needle? Why? I'm sorry.
Yeah, maybe let's not do that. Let's not do that. But yeah,
and I feel like these guys are being on a grand
talent.
stage. You don't have to put your body through that. You're above that now. So every once in a while, if it was like once a year, sure. But I feel like almost every time when I tune into AEW, I'm seeing some crazy shit. And you don't want me walking away saying, oh, yeah, this guy used a stapler gun and he put it on his tongue and all that shit. Like, I'd rather walk away talking about, yo, I watch AEW. They got this guy named Swerve Strickland. He's fucking talented as hell. I love the way he moves and everything. And he got this partner that named Prince Nana. He dances and shit. I like talking about funny moments and everything. If I talk about that, that'll make somebody want to watch it. Not, oh yeah, these guys are crazy and they're cutting themselves up and breaking their fucking bones. And like, nobody wants to see that shit on a regular basis. Yeah. There are some people that like that, but I don't know. That shit is not for me.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I, don't get it twisted. I will be trying to give AEW a chance. However, on a small side note, they brought back this. So I'm just gonna say it. They brought back Ronda Rousey, and I don't like Ronda Rousey. I used to love Ronda Rousey. I used to love her, but then she took her 2 L's and she could never recover from it. And you can't blame somebody for their mental, right? But then she got into wrestling, and she wasn't good at it. And she was very disrespectful. She was very arrogant because she had an attitude of like, oh, I'm a real athlete. I'm going to go into this fake sport and I'm going to just dominate. And that didn't work out like that. She got played. She got embarrassed. And she never recuperated from that, and then proceeded to not only abandon it, but disrespect it on her way out. And ever since then, disrespected them. So now you're coming back to the sport because you got a fight coming up. So I'm just like, Ronda, get the fuck out of here. Like, just go. And I hope you get your ass kicked. I hope you get your ass kicked by Gianna. I hope she fucks you up. And,
Gina,
and we could just,
call it a
day,
name.
And that's it.
Gina.
Gina
Carano.
We
Put
could
some
just
respect on the name. Not Not Gianna, Gina.
And we could just call it the end of the day.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, end of the day, we'll see what happens with Gina and Ronda. That's still to come, I believe. I like Gina Carano. She's in a movie called Fast and Furious 6, which is the greatest movie ever made, the most realistic movie ever made. If you've never seen it, if you like realism in movies, Fast and Furious 6 is the most realistic film you will ever watch in your entire life. But yeah, let's it's really not, by the way. It's really not.
Okay, I was like, you're really selling this acting point on me. I can't tell where the sarcasm is right now, so I'm like, wait.
It's a good movie though. I mean, I like cheesy, nonsensical action movies. So for me, it's great. But yeah,
okay.
it's anyway. But yeah, let's start winding this down. I just want to talk about one more movie before we end today's podcast, and I'll be as quick as I can with this one in the interest of time and not keeping people too long. So let me start rambling. But I want to talk a little bit about Frankenstein. Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, which was came on Netflix late last year. I think it was December last year. It got released December 2025. Excuse me. And I watched that as it's a great movie. First and foremost, just to be clear on that. But I'm somebody who's read Frankenstein, the Mary Shelley book, and I've read that book. I don't even know how many times, like 2-3 times. I read it quite a few times back in the day when I used to read a lot. I don't get a lot of time for reading these days, but back when I used to read, back when I could read, I read that book a lot of times. It's one of my favorite books I've ever read. It's called Frankenstein, or the Modern Day Prometheus is the full title. And one of the things I really liked about the book is just the way the way the characters speak, is very, detailed, very flamboyant, and of course, just representation of the time. And the book itself is written as a series of letters where I forget the character. I can't remember if it's Frankenstein or if it's the captain of the ship, but somebody is writing a letter to somebody. And because this is at a time where if you write a letter to somebody, they're not getting it for weeks or months. So what you write to that letter has to be detailed, and it has to be very clear, and it has to be descriptive. You have to do all that because it's not like now where you could just send someone a text message, realize you made a mistake, send them another text message. Oh, I messed up again. No, I meant this. So you got a bunch of a million messages just trying to correct yourself. Like back then, if you messed up, that was it, right? So you have to be very clear and descriptive in the way you speak because of the system back then. And so as you're reading this book that's written as a series of letters, it's very descriptive, and the language that they use and how they use the language is just very kind of poetic almost, so I like that they incorporated that kind of speak into the movie, and also just the way they did the monster. You've seen Frankenstein's monster done in sort of similar ways throughout various films. I've not seen the Rob De Niro movie, so I won't comment on that. But most of the time you see Frankenstein, he's kind of done in that same sort of way, and they took a very different approach with this. But I liked that they kind of had the idea of that the monster, he has his own intelligence. Like he's not just some monster scary. He has an intelligence. He has feelings. He has opinions, and he becomes. That again, trying not to get too much into spoilers, but as he develops, his character and personality becomes more and more, recognizable. And I felt what they did with the movie in terms of the contrast between Frankenstein and Frankenstein's monster, and how the characters evolve and kind of become more and more of the other in that manner of speaking. But yeah, I mean, overall, it was just done really, really well. And they definitely made changes from the book, even though I'm going to say this now, I don't remember a lot from the book because it was a long time ago I read it. Even though I've read it a few times, so it was a long time ago, so I don't remember a lot. But I know they've made quite a few changes from the book, which is fine. That's not something that's ever really bothered me, because at the end of the day, if you're still making a good movie, still telling a good story, you're still doing something that, is impactful and has depth to it, then yeah, I'm not bothered about the changes. But yeah, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein or the Modern Day Prometheus, great book, and Guillermo del Toro's take on that book that he just did recently, just thought it was really, really excellent example of filmmaking and telling stories in ways that are deep and connected and thoughtful and provoking and all the good things. So yeah. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say about. But okay, sorry, real quick. Did you watch Frankenstein, Celeste? Right? Did you watch
Parts of it. I only watched the beginning, and then I couldn't watch it anymore because of the child abuse. And I can't watch certain shows because of it. Ever since becoming a mom, it just puts me in that shoes of like being a past actor. I'm like, oh man, yeah, I can't do that. So that's why I stopped.
How about you, Bunny? Did you watch Frankenstein?
No, nah. I
never seen any
it,
Frankensteins or
no. It just never. I think the only one I've ever watched, and I didn't even watch the whole thing. It was when I was a kid. Was with the actor that played Willy Wonka. I'm talking about the originally.
Okay,
the original.
You're talking about Gene Wilder.
Yeah,
he did a film called was it called Frankenstein?
I don't know if it was Frankenstein, but it had something to do with Frankenstein. Maybe like
it was a Mel Brooks movie. Is that right? Was it a Mel Brooks movie?
I don't remember. I was a kid.
Young Frankenstein. Yes. Yeah, Young Frankenstein. That was it. Yeah. It's called Young Frankenstein. Yeah.
But did you watch Van Helsing? Because there's Frankenstein in that.
It is a Mel Brooks movie.
Yeah, I watched Van Helsing.
I did watch Van Helsing. Yes, that was with Viggo Mortensen. I watched that. That was a good movie.
You meet him. Shut up. Like that's Aragorn. That's Aragorn.
That was Viggo Mortensen. Yeah.
Shut up.
Van Helsing. Yeah. Van Helsing. Oh, sorry, my bad. I mixed it up. It was Hugh Jackman, not Viggo.
Yeah, I was about to say it's Hugh Jackman. I was like, is he the Is he?
I'm sorry, my bad. I mixed up Wolverine with.
How dare you?
Aragorn. Yeah. That was Hugh Jackman was Van Helsing.
Yeah.
Viggo Mortensen was not.
I was like, he plays Frankenstein? No way. In Van Helsing? Because I knew that it was Kate Beckinsale and Hugh Jackman. And I was just like, Wolverine's looking pretty good in different garb, huh? Okay.
But yeah, I feel like actually wait one sec. No, that's fine. We'll figure it out. So I was just thinking is Viggo Mortensen in it as somebody else, but
no,
I don't think he is. At least not in the main cast anyway. No, he's not. Anyway. I think that's going to be where we wrap up for today. We talked about a few things, guys. Thank you for watching and or listening. If you have any suggestions of shows, movies, games, or things you want us to check out and talk about, drop us a comment and we'll see what we can do. But for now, Lady Celeste Orchid, Sweet Buzz Bundy, and myself, Boomy Hazan, but I go by Bandit Haze in the online space. I've completely messed up my own ending, but I'm just going to keep rolling. Thank you for watching and or listening. And until whenever, if ever, peace.